Good road, I'd say about 3 hours.
Put a couple of these in the bag, will you?
Here's to you, Bass. They go in and cut your lateral canal right out from under you, didn't they, Bass?
Come on out and go fishing with me sometime, Everett. Huh?
Well, how about it?
Yeah, one of these days.
It's a real thing, that lateral canal. Tells them what's going on. Gives them vibration. Fellas feeling low, it'd be nice if there was someone catching hold of its vibration. Well, what do you think?
It's only Friday night, Walter. Let's keep it sensible.
Don't put the cuffs on me, Arthur. You know my friend up there? Big black bass looking around for something honest. Slop gets hooked.
Settle down, huh? Settle down.
Where are you going, Arthur? You want to play state capitals? I can name all the state capitals in 3 minutes.
My friend and I knew this woman in North Dakota.
Bismarck. Most people miss that one.
This woman's hobby was collecting baby teeth from famous people. She said to me once, "Do you know anything about teeth?" I couldn't help her either.
Well, that's just the point. It's a matter of getting the teeth people with the teeth people and the fish people with the fish people.
Something like that.
On me.
We'll get it.
Thanks, brother. Play 10 songs on me. Taking in the salt baths this season? All right, all fish out of the water, all bathers into the ocean. We're about to play a musical world.
Come on, Walter. I'll walk you part of the way home.
All the way.
Come on, Walter.
Walter?
Come on up and join my club.
One member doesn't make a club, Walter. Yeah, that's enough now, Walter. Come on, it's private property. You get down here.
You can't ask a man to give up being king of the mountain.
Now, you get down here, boy.
Comes to your mind? Anybody? Any smells or sounds? Come on, anything. Any strangers around? Did you see anything unusual? Is there anything you saw today maybe make you think? You boys are a little old for this crew.
We're just passing through.
Passing through to where?
Lake Wales.
Got identification? Your,
Styles.
What's that?
Hamburgers.
I know. What about the fight?
What fight?
Artie and Walter Reston had a fight.
Walter fell to the floor.
Artie tried to walk away from Walter, and Walter started to get rough. So Artie got mad and pushed him away.
That's right. We saw that.
Where's Walter now?
He left after Artie did. He grabbed my hand and put some money in it for the jukebox. And then he walked out, really angry. He really did hurt my arm, Warren.
How come it took you so long to remember that?
Because there wasn't any fight, Captain.
It was so. We saw it from the table.
There wasn't any fight. He slipped. Look, we were standing about 5 feet from him. The policeman came in, went over to Walter. Walter was acting kind of silly. The policeman started to leave. Walter grabbed for him, fell on the floor.
Because they started to fight.
There wasn't any fight. It was an accident.
You boys friends of Walter's?
We never met him before.
I don't think Walter has any friends in this room.
Captain, a couple of boys said they saw Artie following Walter Reston down the beach.
Find the boy, bring him to the station. Send out a description, tell Delicart to have an all points roadblock.
He's a good cop. Love the kids.
You ask yourself why. You figure the answer is that somewhere in all this nonsense there's some kind of sense to hang on to. You've got to believe that or close up shop. You can go. Leave your address with the officer.
Coincidence? I mean, you're going to Lake Wales and I'm going to Lake Wales.
Only room for two, Walter.
He didn't say that, you said that. Funny how things work out, isn't it? Flag says go, turn right.
We heard about it, Walter.
Today's question, did you hear it right?
All right, we don't know. There's a detective I think you can talk to.
And they're all gonna come bearing gifts for Walter, aren't they? Tick-tock, 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 boom! Turn left!
Why don't we go down there and stop?
Turn! You don't let me pay the check.
That's the spirit, Walter. We all killed the cop, didn't we? And you're just a big white dove. Dove with a broken wing.
looked and that I did it. Just doesn't make any sense. I liked Arthur. I really liked him. There were even times I actually felt like we smiled at each other. You know, like people do.
Can I see you for a minute, Captain? Yeah. We'd like to help find Walter Reskin, Captain.
George, if you want to get me a cup of coffee, please.
You don't drink coffee yet, do you, Warren?
You don't have to put me down, Captain. Artie Santos never put me down.
You don't have to put us down either. A lot of tears around here this morning.
Well, we can get enough kids together to form a search party in practically every place in town.
Here you are, Captain. Thanks, George. You know, Warren, I started drinking coffee when I was 10. I had a little girlfriend at the time named Katie Devine. She started smoking cigars. She was 9, or at least she tried.
Captain.
That's the trouble with most kids. They try to jump in too fast where they shouldn't. Little girl smoking cigars gives it up, writes it off as a bad scene, right?
You didn't turn us away when Sally Rash got lost in the Harptone Marsh. Didn't we get together when you asked us to? And didn't I organize those kids? Didn't we form a human wall and move through and find her?
Thank you very much for that, Warren. But we knew where she was. And we knew who she was. And we knew she wasn't carrying a gun with which she could shoot someone if they tried to pick her up and take her home. If I remember correctly, you argued with us about the marsh. You were positive she was in Norwood Hills, weren't you?
Well, that's not the point.
That is the point, Warren. For 16 years, I've sat behind this desk. And I've learned a lot of points. The most important point that I've learned is that you cannot jump to conclusions about whether somebody is guilty or not.
Well, Benny Royal saw him follow Artie to the beach.
How's your basketball, Warren?
Huh?
Done any practicing lately?
Fingerprints on Artie's holster. Walter Reston.
Warren, look, talk to the kids. Maybe you can organize some kind of campaign to have them dedicate the new youth center to Arthur. Something like that, huh? That would mean a lot to his wife and kid.
That's the 809. Oil, gasoline, wheat, citrus. Into Raleigh, Junction 11. 914, 948, 1203, 113, 508, 7 o'clock. Think I'll take the 1203. No, better yet, the 113. Funny thing is, I used to go watching him. Who? There was even a time when I tried to walk like him. I was about 11 and he was in high school. That's how long I knew Arthur Santos. He used to hit home runs right out into Chestnut Street. He got famous for that. But that's the way it is. Dunbar Street. Dunbar Street? I was 5, maybe 6. We lived on Mullen Avenue, and I used to go down Dunbar Street on my way to the freight yards. There was this house on Dunbar Street. And this house had a porch, and there was a green rail around that porch. And behind that green rail was there was this old man. I don't think I ever went past that house that old man wasn't just sitting on the porch. And every time I went by, I'd give that old man a smile. And he'd just sit there and look at me. And he'd never smile back. I must have smiled at him at least 1,000,000 times, and he never once smiled back. I always felt like he stole something from me. Then one day I was coming up Dunbar Street, bouncing this rubber ball. And as I looked through the trees, I saw that old man just sitting on the porch. And all of a sudden, the strangest feeling came over me. I got real angry. And the closer I got to that porch, the more angry I felt, until finally I was right in front of that porch. And just like some bolt of thunder hit me, I took that rubber ball and I threw it with all my strength right at that old man. And I missed. And it bonked up against the door, and then it banged back and hit this post. And then it hit the old man's chair, and then it bounced around some more. And it just sort of settled down. And it bounced off the porch right down the steps. And it rolled right out onto the lawn. And then it stopped dead right against a tree. Well, I just stood there for a minute. And then I ran in, I picked up that ball, and I was just about to run out when I looked up at that old man. You know what he was doing? He was smiling at me. It always struck me as being strange. I mean, him never smiling until I did a thing like that. But that's the way it goes. You see that? You take out your feelings and you put them right out in the open, and what do you get?
Well, what do you want me to do? Nominate you for king? We didn't ask to hear your life story. Is that supposed to make us smile that some old man thought you were cute because you threw a ball at him? Well, you don't win me on that count. And you don't get me for your friend because you want to buy my hamburger. Only one thing's going to make me smile, Walter. That's for you to toss away that gun and let us out of here.
I need something for my arm. Medicine, bandages. And hurry back. And don't bring anyone with you. Or try any trick. Or else I'll kill him.
They've already looked.
Then you got nothing to hide, Mrs. Reston.
Are you crazy? Get out of here. Why don't you help him? He's your friend.
Charlie, check the basement.
You went to school with him? You played with him? Policeman down the street.
Don't do it, Mrs. Reston. If you do, it'll be worse for Walter when we find him.
What do you mean? What are you gonna do? What do you mean, worse? You don't touch him. Oh, why don't you try to understand?
It's all books.
He reads everything.
You think he sits home and decides to kill people? He reads. He thinks.
Never saw so many books.
Look.
What is it?
Stars. It's a constellation.
Yeah. Orion. We studied it. Mrs. McLeod, 11B, she was a nut on that stuff.
Yeah. Orion. He's the hunter.
Hey.
What does it mean?
Oh, who knows? Come on.
Same one was by the coffee house last night. Belonged to those two fellas who stuck up for Walter. That's blood if I've ever seen it.
Sure looks like blood.
Mr. Stiles?
That's right. I'll take that if you don't mind.
First, I'd like to ask you a few questions, Mr. Stiles.
I don't want to buy tickets to the game. Thank you very much.
How come you're still around? There's some blood in the car. Police report said Walter Reston left some blood of his own at the warehouse. It couldn't be his blood, could it?
First aid kit.
Where's your friend?
What are you, a vigilante committee? Is this some sort of a mission?
Where's Walter Reston?
I can tell. He's not going to say anything, Warren.
You never knew, or you wouldn't be standing there like that.
Oh, I see. You're so full of passion, you're going to go out and burn all the law books and toss out all the judges. Why don't you tear down the courthouse at the same time?
You're going to make it rough on yourself, Mr. Stiles.
Don't let him talk that way, Warren.
That's right, miss. You go out and get justice for Arthur Santos. While you're at it, what about all the other people that broke the law yesterday? You going to go after them, too?
Tell us, mister. Just tell us where he is.
We're serious, Mr. Stiles. Where is he?
Hey, don't you go to sleep.
Hurt your feelings?
Well, where is he? It doesn't take this long to get from there to here. There ought to be some kind of a button you could push to warn you when you're off the track. Trains have them.
The button's there, Walter. You just never bothered to push it.
Will you just stay awake, you hear?
You stand ready to put a bullet in me and you don't want me to go to sleep.
Come on, Walter.
Let me be rude to you just a little bit.
You don't like me, do you?
No, I don't like you.
Because I wouldn't let you pick up the check, right?
You keep harping on the check. What's the matter with wanting to pay a lousy check?
Write this down on your shirt sleeve, Walter, so you won't forget it. Buy the burger, not the friend.
I'm not looking to buy anybody.
Walter, you're the biggest spender in the business.
Don't you see? You try and be part of something, and whammo, all of a sudden you're nothing. Do you know that I practiced hitting a baseball 2 or 3 hours a day all one winter so I could play on a team? For 3 months I practiced. Up comes a game, I get up to hit, I swing so hard I nearly screw myself into the ground. The whole crowd, they started screaming, "That was a bunt, you should have bunted." But if I'd hit that ball right off into the boulevard, it would have been a different story. I would have been a hero.
Heroes bunt, Walter.
Well, you try, you work at it. You hunt out some kind of a connection, like Orion found Diana. Only he can't get close to her. He spends the rest of his days holding off the bull. I mean, it's like every time you get close to somebody.
So Walter smiled and nobody smiled back. So Walter sat down and thought what to do about it. And then it came to him. From then on, he'd smile once. And if they didn't smile back right away, he'd take his rubber ball and throw it at them as hard as he could.
Well, it worked, didn't it?
You ever see a dog smile, Walter? Well, they do. If you wait, get to know them, let them get to know you. I had a hound once who smiled 2 or 3 times a day and all day on Sunday. I found him by a river. And he snarled at me when I went up to him. I thought he was going to rip my hand off. So I stood back and called out. It took a little while, but little by little he followed me. Got home, but he wouldn't come past the fence. 2 days he stood out there by that fence. I had to feed him out there. And then one morning, I found him in by the well. And then one morning, he let me touch him. Then one morning, he came into the house. We became real good friends. But the best morning of all, Walter, was when he smiled at me. And you know, I think he knew how to smile that day I found him by the river.
What?
You know where he is?
Yes, ma'am.
God give him mercy.
I was counting on your mercy, Mrs. Santos.
My mercy?
For my friend. As Artie's wife, maybe you could talk to these kids before somebody else gets killed. They're not thinking straight. They need...
Arthur tried to help him. Tried to help so many. He'd come home at night and I'd give him his dinner. And he'd talk about the people that were giving him trouble. You hear a name mentioned at your dinner table and you don't think anything of it. And then one night a man comes to your door and tells you that the name you heard when you put down the soup killed your husband. And you look around at the world and you want to lock your doors. Is that why I should give him mercy? No, that kind of mercy comes only from God. I don't even understand that kind of mercy. Who are you anyway?
I told you, ma'am.
You want to help him, is that it?
No, that's not it. I want to help my friend.
Well, I'm going to call Captain West. He wants to help him. He wants my mercy for him. Oh, God!
Obstacles. Weather. Man gets sick, can't come in. Another guy leaves town. Wife won't talk. I got a million of them. And now, in comes this man who's going to Lake Wales with a brand new way of turning my hair gray. Look at this hair. My wife thinks it's distinguished. I think it's nervous.
I'm making a deal. My friend has a gun at his head. I'm trying to protect him.
We're a police force. Or didn't you notice the men in uniform as you came in? Any one of them could have put you in a cell for obstructing justice.
I've seen lots of police forces, and some of them would send their uniformed men of justice to storm the fort without...
Is he at the fort?
No, he's not in the fort.
You're darn right he's not at the fort.
But I'll tell you where he is if you'll listen to what I think you should do.
And if I say yes, does that guarantee I'll do what I say?
I think so.
All right. All right.
He's at a warehouse, 2200 Old Beach Road.
Sooner or later, we'd have gotten there.
But you don't go there.
You don't go there.
He's catching a 113 freight, whichever one that is, or some other freight. I don't know. Anyway, that's where he'll be, and he's scared. So you stake out the train. You don't go to the warehouse. Maybe that way somebody won't get hurt. All right?
We have a deal, don't we, Mr. Stiles?
How do you stay so calm?
Coming, Harshaw, get in here.
Practice.
What's he up to? He's coming on foot. I shouldn't have let him go. Well, it doesn't take that long to get to the drugstore and back. Where's the car?
I ran into a teenage posse. There's your first aid kit.
Well, what'd they say to you?
They said, "Where's Walter?"
Well, what'd you tell them?
I said, Walter's trying to figure out why nobody likes Walter.
You talk straight.
Better put something on that arm, Walter.
And they took the car. See how they think? What did I tell you?
Ask him about Think. He knows all about Think. What's the capital of Oklahoma, Walter?
Oklahoma City. You study, you work, you lie at home at night and try to figure out how to get yourself into the world the next day. They don't know what it is to think.
Illinois?
Springfield.
Idaho?
Boise.
Louisiana.
Baton Rouge. I missed that once. That's how it all started. The whole class went, ooh, ah, you missed Baton Rouge. Then you know what I did?
You got your rubber ball and...
I went home that night, and I memorized every senator and every House member of every state in the USA. And then I learned every governor, lieutenant governor, and secretary of state of every state in the USA. I just had to do it. I guess I just had to do lots of things, is how it worked out. But I didn't mean to hurt Arthur. Sometimes he and I don't know. But I think he understood, you know? Well, I'm going to take the 113 out of this place, and I'm going to go somewhere else. There are other people. No, I think we better get out of here right now. Only we're gonna forget about the train.
Better clean up that arm, Walter. Move.
What are you gonna do, Walter? Shoot them all down? Well, go ahead, Warren. This is your chance. Tear them to pieces. What's the matter? You've got yourself 100,000 troops. 5 bullets? You're not gonna let that stop me. Remember, the just are brave.
Hold it! Drop it, Walter. It isn't a rubber ball.
You went into my room.
Come down, Walter.
Don't you remember the time I invited you to come to my house?
You killed Arthur.
I didn't mean to.
He's dead.
I just wanted to talk with him. Anyone. I just wanted to talk with anybody.
state in Texas?
I don't know.
Good, Walter. That's good.
Gems presentation. Herbert D. Leonard, executive producer.